I wasn't really sure if it's worth it or not until I got up in the air, so let's find out together. Hello Simmers, it's Mo. Welcome to Mike Oscar. And I will tell you the story behind picking up this one once we get up in the air, so let's not waste any time and let's get started. Beginning with the exterior, I believe that JustFlight and Thranda have done a great job taking care of the tiny details of the exterior. Especially for the reflections. Yeah, but when we get inside the cockpit, the reflections under the wing will be more visible, and I love it. Moving the surfaces is a bit limited because the flight controls, the yoke is locked, so we will have a more freedom in the movement once that lock is removed. Okay, let's get inside. So here we are in the cockpit. Yeah, the doors are still open. I will get everything prepared for the flight once we are ready to roll. But let's have first a look at the cockpit and the details. So it's a traditional C152 layout for the in-flight instruments and the glare shield. And one of the cool features of this aircraft that it has two layouts for your instruments. Either the traditional one for the avionics, and this one featuring advanced and a modern avionics equipment such as the Garmin GTN 750XI. I have it here from TDS and it's sold separately. We have here the controls lock. I will remove this in a second. Let's have a look back there. Here we have a room for a cargo or stuff of up to 50 kilograms based on the documentation of the Cessna 150, Cessna 152. And what's the difference between the Cessna 150 and 152? They are quite similar, but one of the differences is that the engine of the 152 is just 10 horsepower extra. It offers, or it could generate 10 horsepower extra compared to the Cessna 150, which is actually nothing. So this engine here can produce up to 110 horsepower, and the Cessna 150 is just 100 horsepower. Right, let's have now a detailed look at the EFP. And it's the default EFP that Thranda and JustFlight usually have on their aircraft. It's quite handy when it comes to changing the different settings and options of this aircraft. We can move it from here to there. I will do this because it will be a bit blocking my my view, but let's have it on a bigger window like this. So these are called the apps. The first one here is for the aircraft options, where you can set different things, like for example, taking care of the external of the ground objects, so such as the chocks and the ties, etc., etc. Closing the doors, but I will close the doors manually later on. And we have this weight and balance app where you can refuel the aircraft, take care of the weight of the passenger, and if there's any baggage in the back. This is quite handy, of course. So you can set all of these from this window here in the app. I mean, in the EFB, instead of going through the default settings pages of X-Plane. Yep, another app here. This is for the configuration of the glare shield and the layout. Here you can change the barometric pressure unit, and here you can switch off the TDS avionics in case you don't have it. But I highly recommend it. It's not that cheap and also not that expensive, but I use it for across all of my GA aircrafts in my hangar. It's quite handy, easy to use with the touch screen. I fly only in VR, and yeah, managing it with the VR controller is quite easy. You can even manage it, of course, with your just with a mouse if you don't fly in VR. Yeah, another app here related to the checking the fuel, if it's imbalanced or not. You can also set these parameters here for the engine for not necessarily failures, but to simulate, for example, the vapor lock during the hot days, the warm days, which is quite a nice feature. But these are mostly the same exact EFB characteristics from JustFlight across their fleet. Here you can change the livery, and this aircraft comes with multiple static liveries. I've chosen this German one here, but you can here on the fly, if you're not familiar with Strand as work, then you can here on the fly change your static livery to something else within the same. You don't need to reload the aircraft or go through explain option pages. All right, and this one here it's the Dynafeel, and the Dynafeel is the realism and sensitivity level. By default, it's set to 50, and I love to set it to 100 for a reason. Well, once we get up in the air, I will tell you a short story about picking up this aircraft in particular. But it's and why I set it to 100. But it's a common feature across JustFlight and Strand as work. Yeah, this is just for the log of the your logbook. And here these are the checklists. You can cycle through the different checklists here, which is definitely quite handy. The ground services, but we don't need to do anything here for now. And this is a really cool one here. It's the dynamic livery. It's like a paint kit. You can design your own livery here within the same. While it's loaded, you can design livery yourself, pick the colors. So to make something unique for yourself, which is also a cool feature that is available across all of Thrandas and JustFlight aircrafts. And here the performance calculator, and you could also operate the AviTab from here if you have it already installed. I guess so. Right, the different apps of AviTab, so you can load, for example, the moving maps during your flight. But since I have TDS, I don't really need it unless necessary, or if I needed to view the charts of Navigraph. Okay, let's close this one and let's prepare the aircraft for the takeoff. Right, we have a crosswind. I guess it's 5 knots or something. We will be taking off from runway 08 over there. Okay, so let's prepare the aircraft for our takeoff. Of course, let's close the doors, window, the other door. There we go. Yep. For the remaining items like the ties and the P2 tube cover, I will do it from the EFB, and it's quite huge, I know, but it will be quick. So let's see here. The left tie down, right tie down, the chocks as well. Right chock, come on. The P2 cover. Everything looks okay-ish. All right. So let's now turn on the master switch. One more time. Yes, here we go. Beacon lights on. Yeah, I could also turn on the avionics. Excuse me, I mean the alternator as well. So it's down here. I don't have a button for it. Okay. And one of the things that I've noticed is that the avionics gets turned on, or at least the TDS module with the battery bus, which is incorrect. It should be on the avionics bus. So turning on the avionics, yeah, I'm not sure about the default avionics, yeah, but this is how it is with TDS. It could be modified in the settings, but the developer needs to have it corrected. I have reported this and hoping it gets fixed soon, because in an aircraft like this with a piston engine, if you start cranking the engine while the avionics are turned on, it will most likely damage your avionics. Okay, we have enough fuel. Cool. Let's remove the control lock now. The controls are free, can freely move, and the horizontal stabilizer as well. Okay, great. And let's prime the engine 3 times. 1, 2, 3. It's the summer, and 3 times is enough. Great. Mixture rich. The throttles should be opened like 1/4 inch, like this, and we are good to start. So let's start the engine. Okay, nice. Now it's running. Okay, let's keep an eye on the RPM. It should be around 1100 or 1000. And one of the most important instruments here is the RPM gauge. We will be depending heavily on the RPM during usually, yeah, while operating a Cessna aircraft, you need to pay close attention to it, and yeah, different values here will dictate how the aircraft will perform and the speed. And in which phase of the flight, what RPM should you set it to? It's a thing that we will be going through, yeah, during this demo. Nice. Let's set the flaps to 10. Yeah. Let me have my seat properly positioned. I guess that's enough. Yeah. Let me move my. The EFB, and let's set the Garmin here, the TDN, the GTN, sorry, to just to the view of the maps. Right. Okay, once we start taxiing, we will perform a brakes check. So let's release the parking brakes. Should get moving. Yeah. Right, let's check the brakes. Brakes are good, and you could find more if you go through the normal checklists of the aircraft. Okay, we will take off from runway 08, and while taxiing I will check the gyro and the compass, and I have an observation here regarding the compass, but let's test it and have a look here at the gyro. Yeah, it moves freely, which is okay, and the compass as well. We have crosswind, okay. Yeah, the compass is not correctly aligned. I'm not sure why. I've never seen this in the sim, I mean. So I'm not sure if it's a bug or if it's intentionally meant to be like this, but in a real world aircraft this is aligned. You may need sometimes to calibrate it, but this is the case. Okay, we will stop here momentarily just to perform an engine run-up to test the engine. Alright, yeah, the taxi lights are on. I should have switched that on before we started rolling the taxi, I mean. Okay. Yeah, but look at the details of the reflections. It's really cool here. These flaps are 10 or no, this is not. These are not flaps 10. Flaps. Yeah, this is 10. Yeah, when I switched on the battery, it got already set to 10. I'm not sure why. Now this is flaps 10. This is correct. Let me set the parking brakes. Right, let's now perform the engine run-up test before the takeoff. So let's we will be testing the magnetos. Okay, so now it's on both here, and I will perform a check. So let's increase the RPM to 1700 on both, and the difference between both magnetos should not exceed 50 RPM. So now let's test the right magneto and check the drop, and the drop should not exceed 100 RPM. Let's set it back to both. Yeah, and then we will switch it to the left magneto. Okay, cool, and back to both. Okay, nice. I will calibrate the actually I can calibrate the compass now. Maybe we can, yeah, refer to this one. Here it's 308, and here it's not even a 300. You know what I mean? Yeah, as close to 308 as possible. But still, I guess it's okay-ish, huh? Yeah, I guess so. Okay, let's hide my mouse. Okay, now the RPM back to idle, and then back to 1000 over. And in my opinion, as a simmer, one of the areas that needs improvement is the sounds of this aircraft. But it's a common, I find it a common thing in, across JustFlight aircrafts, is that the engine sounds are not that realistic and suppressed. They are suppressed, not realistic, which is, yeah, could be, which is a thing that could be improved. All right, we can start rolling now. Taxiing, I mean, to the runway. And while taxiing, let's have a look at the reflections here of the grass on the paint. It's really cool, and the chrome, the metallic shine of the pitot tube. Okay, and before we line up, let's make sure that no other aircrafts are inbound, and neither from the other direction. Again, we have a crosswind. Okay, the flaps set. Let's switch on the landing lights and this strobe. Can you see it? Yes. One more thing here is to turn on, to set the transponder to alt or on. Usually it should be alt, right? Let's line up, increase the power a bit. And we have a little crosswind here. We should take this into consideration. We will go for a circuit around the airport, left hand, and I will climb to just 1000. It's enough. Okay, that's okay. Carburetor heat is off, so yeah, we are good to go. The yoke a little bit to the left to counteract the crosswind. I'll try to center it, make it on the center. Not really. Okay, let's rotate. I should keep myself right above the runway. And around 200 feet, now we can redirect the flaps. No, not above the runway. Okay. And during the climb, usually keep the speed around 70, so we can pitch up more. At 400, we can bank to the left. I will climb to 1000. And once we level off, I will tell you the story of picking up this aircraft, or the reason behind looking for another aircraft. Excuse me if I zoom in a bit, because the sun effect here and the shadows is a bit annoying. Okay, almost 1000. We can bank to the left. Yeah, we can start to level off. It's already leveling off. And keep the throttles as is to max for now, just to give the aircraft the chance to accelerate to 95. Yeah, almost 95. Let's reduce the power to 2300. 23. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, to maintain this speed. So yeah, look at the reflections here. I love it. Excellent. Let's bank to the left. And the story is that from time to time I take flight lessons on real Cessna aircraft and at the flight school. And I have another payware Cessna that is not as good as it should be in real life. Of course, nothing will be as real as it is in real life and in a simulator, but I needed something that is close to the feel of a real aircraft. And this one, should be at 1000, but it's okay. And the aerodynamics on the flight model of this aircraft is impressive. Trend and JustFlight did a great work on it. So it's very, very close to the real aircraft, especially during the landing and the touchdown. I mean, the aircraft should glide when you cut the power. It shouldn't just drop as if it's being pulled by a magnet. So trust me when I say in real life, landing an aircraft in real life is way easier than a simulator. Trust me on this. So if you can land it in the sim in one piece and with a score of great landing, you are definitely a hero. Don't underestimate your skills. Power is 2300 again. Okay, let's descend to 700. I will turn on the carburetor heat on. Where is it? Yeah, reduce the power to 1700, and let's descend to 700. And the function of the carburetor heat or the cowl flaps is that in a piston engine aircraft, the engine can make ice or accumulate ice during the descent when the power is low, so it's cold, and it makes ice even in summer. So the carb heat is used during all seasons, during the descent to be specific. Okay, turning downwind, and let's increase the power a bit, level off, and I can now turn off the carburetor heat, get back to 2300. But we should set it up now, configure it for the landing, so let's set the flaps to 10. And maybe the power to 2000. Or even at 2300, it's okay. And we can now begin our descent. Again, we're descending, so carburetor heat is on. Reduce the power to 1700, I think, 17. Yeah, now you could see that the nose is pitching down. Okay, 500 feet, we can turn base leg now. Let's set the flaps to 20. Where's the runway? Yeah, still need to bank left more to the left. Keep an eye on the speed, keep an eye on the RPM, not to be less than 1700. Once we turn final, I will set the flaps to 30. Again, this is just a casual tutorial for simming. Let's set it to 30. And I will cut the power right above the threshold. I'll try to align it with the center line. I'll do my best. Okay. Yeah, now we can cut the power and hold it, and then flare. Hold it. Yes. Okay, I got score of great. Let's apply brakes. I will exit from that exit. Doesn't matter. It's not real life, so it's okay. Excuse me for this. Just to get back to the parking spot. You could easily get a score of butter or great landing on this aircraft. But I'm not sure why I always get the my flare score for this aircraft to poor. That's okay. Always on this aircraft here in the sim, it's always poor. But for the touchdown score, it's usually a butter or great landing. That's fine. For other aircrafts, yeah, I do a better score on the flare. But I'm not sure if it's miscalculated here or not, but I don't care. Power should be around 1000. Let's turn to the left here. No, not this one. No. We're not there yet. And the yoke should be pulled backwards a bit, by the way. Not in sim, it doesn't matter. The reason is to reduce the pressure on the the nose wheel during the taxi. So it should be pulled like this, but in the sim it doesn't matter. Okay, let's just park it over here. I think it's enough. Okay, parking brakes set. If you need more detail, then I'd urge you to go through the checklist. I'm just doing it from memory. Yeah, this should be 1000, the RPM. And you should have the avionics switched off. I'd hope that the the developer fixed it soon, so let's assume that the avionics are off. Alright, and let's cut, yeah, maybe turn off the carburetor heat. Yeah, make sure to idle, throttles handle also to idle, and switch off the lights and the master switch. I think we have covered enough. I hope that you like it, and as a humble simmer and a little student pilot, I highly recommend it, especially for the good aerodynamics and responsiveness. I'd hope that the sound issues get fixed in the future, hopefully. So let's see, and also the avionics bus thingy. Other than this, it's a perfect aircraft, and it's a great addition to my fleet. Yep. If you like the content, then please like it and consider also subscribing to motivate me doing more in the future. Thank you so much, and see you soon.